Dear viewers and subscribers, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all notifications regarding any video we are uploading on this channel. Okay guys, in last session we have covered Docker Swarm architecture, how node work, task and scheduling, services and containers apart from tasks. Okay, so just to recap the key concept, let me elaborate in a detail again so that we know again everything how it works. So first of all, we discuss node. Okay, actually a node is an instance of Docker engine. So don't get confused that this node or this node. Definitely these are the kinds of node, but one is manager and other is worker. But remember that even when you have your local machine, okay, and you have your local machine, and in this machine you deployed a you are running Docker, then this your local machine becomes a node. If you created EC2 instance, okay, on EC2 instance uh, on Amazon, okay, you created EC2 instance on Amazon, then definitely there you must run Docker container, sorry, Docker engine, and that become again a node. So this is very simple term. Because mostly for beginners it some kind of confusion what is node. So node is a if you have if you are running 10 instance 10 docker engine, then you have 10 node. Okay, so which can be either a manager or worker. You can later you can configure create a node as a manager or worker. So how manager works? Responsibilities are for the managing swarm. So this is total yours a Docker swarm. Okay, so the manager node is responsible for managing all of this, also making decision about the cluster. Let's suppose you have one cluster deployed on node 1, and you have one cluster running on node 2. So all the responsibility will take care by this node manager. It is the responsibility, third responsibility is scheduling services. It also schedules service. Okay, there is a service to be run on worker which node. So 1 2 3 it will decide manager node. So I have new service to run as a container. It will assign a task, assign a IP address, allocate, and then dispatch to okay task ABC task. Okay, go and start running. This node is available for you. Okay, it is also handle API request whenever we get receive request from command line interface of Docker command line interface CLI or any API we are calling it directly. Connect to the manager node and it decide okay what should I do with that request. Okay, then we have worker node. It execute task assigned by manager node. Okay, worker node does not participate in the management of swarm. It's a just core responsibility to start task and run service as a container. When your service becomes container, it is called task. So worker node just do that. Okay, next is uh, service. Okay, definitely when we create a service and assign to manager node, then definitely manager node uh, do the rest of management. A service defines how to run a specific task or container in the swarm. Okay, when you have small number of container running on different nodes, and then service define how to run specific task, because that service is assigned a task, and that task explain the instruction where to run this service as a container. Okay, When you deploy a service, Docker Swarm creates and manages the desired number of replicas across the nodes. Replicas mean you can run more than one instance of your service. Let's suppose you are going to create one instance of your service. Service is just authentication server. Okay, and you want, okay, there must be two authentication server. If there is one down, another will be up to make the authentication, and there will be no downtime or any issues with the service. So when you create service, you can also provide number of replicas with the same time. Also you can again increase or decrease. So task, next is task. A task is a running container managed by Docker Swarm. When your container, when you deploy a service and it start running container, this becomes a task, because a manager node assigned a task, okay, run this service as a container. Each task corresponds to a service instance and it is assigned to a worker node. Okay, got my point? It's saying that each task corresponds to a service instance. When you deploy a service, a task is assigned to that service object, and it is also assigned to for which worker node you will be running. Again, another important term, we have swarm. For beginners, it is difficult to understand what is a swarm. Is a cluster of Docker nodes. Okay, let's suppose you have Docker nodes. As I see, all these nodes are called one cluster. Okay, and when you start running all these nodes in a swarm mode, it becomes cluster. Simple. This cluster can be created by initializing a single manager node, which can then be joined by other manager or worker node. First of all, definitely you have EC2 instance or virtual machine or any your local machine, even you will start running Docker daemon, Docker engine, and then you will create a, then it's up to you. You are going to make that your node or manager or worker. But remember that worker cannot be live without manager, but manager can live without worker. And these can be promote and depromote. Manager can be worker, a worker can be manager. Okay, so another important term is overlay network. Docker Swarm uses overlay network to enable communication between containers deployed across different nodes. Okay, well, let's suppose your one authentication server is deployed here, your user account service is here, your registration service is here. To make the communication among these nodes, you must specify your network overlay network. Okay, actually this abstracts the network configuration, allowing container to disclose and communicate with each other. Okay, so regarding architecture, you must know the control plane managed by nodes. A control plane is responsible for maintaining the state of swarm, scheduling tasks or work nodes, providing APIs, handling cluster management such as scaling and updating the services. Okay, so let's move to the actual work of this video. We will be creating three instances, EC2 instances on AWS, and then we will make one instance as a manager node and two instances as a worker node. Then we will deploy our services on EC2 instance, and then we will try to access those services. So let's start with the actual implementation. Okay guys, to create a Docker Swarm, first we have to know the prerequisites. That prerequisites are, we must have at least two or three nodes, because we will need one manager and rest of worker nodes. So because I have my local machine and here I cannot create more than one node, because I have one Docker engine running on my local machine. Definitely I will introduce the commands, how those commands we can execute. But for now I am going to create three instances on AWS. This video is useful for you so that you can also learn how we can create instances, EC2 instance on AWS. For that, you must have your login account, because I have my free tier account, and we might have some restriction. But whatever restriction we will be receiving, I will let you know. Otherwise, let's see what happened. So first of all, I have to log in with my user account, and here I have to provide password. I don't have sign in as a root user. Okay, and because you have to see that I have to provide 6P362G. Let's see if it works. Otherwise, okay, great, it is working. So I have to provide password again. Now I will be routed to Amazon dashboard, where I will be able to create a number of services provided by Amazon, like VP, virtual private connection, EC2 instance, identity and access manager, whatever S3 service. So right now, because we need three instances, we can also create S3, but this is purely for storage of objects, and we need some node. And here you can just go and start launching instance. Guys, here is the number of instances you can create. So you can create one by one, and you can also create three instances at the same time, because I'm going to create three instances at the start, and then later on I will divide one as a manager and rest of two as a worker node. So I'm not going to give any name right now. And here you can also select any operating system you want. You can also use Amazon Linux, you can also use Ubuntu, whatever you want. So I'm going to use select same this one, Amazon. And here you must select your free tier eligible. You can see here you have two types of EC2 instances. I'm going to create AMI images. Okay, and then you must select your free tier eligible instance type. And guys, you don't need to select this option key pair, because without key pair you need to connect. Otherwise you have to download your public and private key, you have to connect with that. So this mostly we use whenever you have some different environment. So to just create three instances, here is the rest of guide. You can also, this is the configure network settings, because if you want to create new security group, and you can also use the existing one. With new security group, I want to allow SSH traffic from anywhere. I want to allow HTTP as well. I want to allow HTTP traffic from anywhere. So 000-0 mean anywhere. Otherwise you have to mention from which IP you can just log in and communicate. So then we have configuration storage. One thing, guys, I must show you, because I did not select subnet. Okay, for that you must because you have virtual private, but you did not. If you are not going to select, it will be used by default in any available zone. So okay, I'm not going to select it, and let's see if I can use by default. Otherwise I can configure later on. Okay, then we have mm, configuration storage. I'm not going to change any, because I don't want to be charged. And here is advanced settings. In here you don't need to select any specific option, but you must go and provide the configuration parameter here. Here we have some information to start running. When our instance will be created, it will install some updates, and it will also uh, mm, create some information like okay, this is regarding Ubuntu, and then I have to select the instance type uh, Linux. Okay, so I have changed my operating system to Linux because it is also available for me in free tier, so no worries. And then again I have to check all these because I can connect with the HTTPS, HTTP and SSH. Because SSH I will use to log in to CMD, and I will use some commands regarding assigning node, creating node, and joining node, all of these. So then we have these commands to be run when our instance will create. It also enable Docker. It will install Docker, and then it will start services. When this will start running Docker, it will become our node. Okay, so we have mentioned that number of instances 3. Okay, great. So let me launch the instances. It will take a while and it will create 3 instances for you. Okay, successfully all these 3 instances are created, and you can just go into the instances and see. Okay, these are going to initialize, and here you can just set it is my manager, and I want to make, I just naming it because later on I will do commands on these nodes accordingly. So this is worker 2, and this one is worker 1. Okay guys, so it is good to know that you have created your 3 instances on AWS by covering Docker Swarm, and now let it to be initialized, and then I will start connecting with it. Once your instance get initialized, then you can connect and start few commands. I will show you. Another thing in the meanwhile, let me share you. You can also set your security. Here is your security group, and here you can see what your security group have the option. Because regarding inbound option mean from outward to in your instance, how the anyone from publicly connect your instance, you have allowed. You can see here that all 3 instances, sorry, all instances, let's suppose you have a security group having allowing http https ssh. So it does not, if I add it and show you in detail, here you can see anyone can connect because it is 00 with your instance through these protocols. Okay, rules with source this allow all IP addresses to access your instance. So this is a good thing. You also can see how we can configure and create security group and assign. Okay, I have also different session working on all of these options on my channel. You can go and see how we can set outbound rules, how we can set inbound rules. Okay, everything I have provided. Regarding outbound rules mean from your instance to public, everything is allowed. Okay, and then we also have your you must know your a virtual private network. Let me show you as well. Here is your virtual private. Here is your subnet. Actually this subnet should be publicly allowed, and with this subnet you will be available. Here you can see block public. You cannot connect your instance if it is a publicly block. Let me show you as well. So back to our dashboard, and you can see that you have created 3 instances, and these are all past your, there is no issue with your instances, and you can uh, directly connect. Let's suppose I want to connect with manager. Here you will select this one, and then you will be having action connect. And from here, associated subnet is not public subnet. It is showing warning that you cannot connect unless you have your public subnet task. So for this, I have another video under AWS Cloud Practitioner session. You can go and see how we can change it to public subnet. Okay, because if I will try to connect this instance, it will not allow me, and it will show error. Here you can see your instance is not able to connect. So for that, for rest of command, how we can connect, how we can create manager node, how we can join other worker node with the manager node, because uh, if you see in this diagram, we have created one manager node and two worker nodes. Okay, we have two worker nodes, one manager node. Once we create all of these, we have to join these nodes with the certification created with this manager node. Otherwise, this manager node will not know what are these nodes. This will never manage all these nodes. So how to do this? Let me show you how we can do this practically. Okay guys, I have found a great tutorial for you because I'm not doing it myself. I want you to do this and let me know what the challenges or issue you face. First of all, when you will connect your any node, because we have created three nodes. One is, and naming it, one is manager and two are worker node, worker 1 and worker 2. So far you will definitely connect with your manager node, and you will start docker swarm init. It will initialize, and it will show you the output as below. And then here you can see you have this certificate generated, token generated. Because when you will try to create, because you have created worker node, and when you will try to join that worker node with this manager node, you have to run this command. So here you can see joining docker swarm nodes, copy the token from above step and run in the swarm node 1. Then you will connect again with node 1, and then you will run this command. And after this, you will connect to node 2, and you will execute this command. After this, create a task in the docker swarm. So you would then, because you want to deploy service, and your service name is this. Okay, and you want to run this service on the port this, you already learned how to run docker command. After this, you are going to create service, and there must be an image available. Even if you have local image available, then you will definitely write this command, docker service create, and this you will name this service, and here is the image name. It will search on your local machine, otherwise it will go on docker hub. If you have this image on your docker registry, let me show you. Let's suppose I have docker hub. Okay, and here I have repository, and under repository I have this image available, which is publicly available. So in place of this, I will just write this command, this name. So it will automatically download and run this image as a container, and with the service name whatever we provide. After running this, you will create a replica, so that you can have more than one images running, more than one container running from this image. So here you can just create docker service scale. It is scaling from 1 to 4, so 4 services will be available here. So I'm not doing myself, because I want you to do this. If you face any issues, then definitely I'm here. I will provide you help. And after running this, from this is the IP of your node. Let's suppose if you have EC2 instance IP, let me show you. Here you can see, you can note your public IP of your EC2 instance. Okay. Here you can note this, and then you will be providing here, and then you will provide HTTP port what you are allowed, then you will be here able to access your application. So if you will not be able to do, then definitely I will create another session, otherwise it is good to go. Okay guys, how to do on your local machine, how to make your local machine as a Docker swarm. So it is a very simple, just you will be providing Docker swarm init. Okay. Now you can see, to add worker node to this swarm, run the following command. Okay, swarm initialize current node. Your this node is now a manager. Okay, to join another node with this manager node, we have to run this command, because on my this machine I have single node, because I cannot run more than one Docker engine on a single machine. So for that I have to have another machine. I can create virtual machine, I can also create some EC2 instances as we have created on AWS. So to do this, just I will run this command, and then I will be able to run Docker Swarm. But for now, because I'm going to use this manager node as a worker node as well, and I'm going to run the service and show you how this works. To just check about the Docker Swarm, you can also use Docker info command. It will provide you all the details as well. And then after this, you can also check how many. You can see here everything is provided about the. Let me show you what is the state of swarm. Here you can see your swarm state is active. Okay, and now your it's a node ID and manager node, and here you can see, because we have single node and it also a manager node and node. To check the number of nodes on your console, we have also, sorry, another command where I can just write docker node ls. It will provide you the detail of your node. So we have one single node available, and that is manager and worker as well. Okay, after that, in order to add worker node to swarm, you can enter the command I already show you. Okay guys, just for the demonstration purpose, I am going to use hello world image we already have on docker.com. To do that, I will just write docker, because I have a single node which is manager node. I am also deploying service on this manager node, and it will start working as a worker node. Docker service create. You can also provide replica, but right now I am going to provide nothing. Hello world alpine. I don't want to provide version. Ping docker.com. Here you can see 0 out of 1 task. It is preparing actually. It will start downloading hello world docker image. Okay, and it will create that service as a container service. This is converged. Okay, then I can verify the services as well. To do this, I have also one command, docker ls. Sorry. Here you can see we have successfully running our hello world on our manager node, and there are also some replicas. Already services are available, but you can see that we have successfully uh, deployed hello world on Docker. Okay, guys, in this session, we have learned how to create manager node, how to create worker node, how to join these worker node with manager, and then how to create replica, how to access this worker node with the URL. So, how under the hood, how it works. Here, I already explained you how it is work. In last session, you can go and watch the video for more understanding. So this is for Docker Swarm, and this is the last session of our DevOps tutorial 3, because in this session we promised that we will cover Dockerization, containerization apart from Docker Swarm. So rest of the videos on Docker Swarm you will keep watching. I will provide separately. To close this thread, this was the last session, and let's see what is the next session in our pipeline. Here you can see that we have covered programming languages. We have decided Angular, Java, and other supported languages. Operating system, we have covered Linux and Linux, Ubuntu, and Windows. Terminal knowledge, we have covered CMD and PowerShell, apart from Windows commands, basic Windows command, and Linux commands. All tutorials we have on our YouTube channel. Then container, we have covered all related to containerization, and today it is our last session. And then in next session we will see what is and how to set up X. So I next let's see in next section what the possibilities we have to set up for the X. Okay, please subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and also do like, share in your circle these videos, and also provide your valuable comments. And I hope you will be liking and sharing, so that I will be continuing with rest of the technologies and tools sharing with you. Thanks.